how we see the power of the executive.
Barrett Berger, always great to see you. Charlie Savage, thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. I also want to bring in Democratic Congresswoman from Michigan, Brenda Lawrence. She's a member of the Oversight Committee. Good to see you, Congresswoman.
Good to see you.
There's a whole bunch of new polls. I want to show you some of them that shows the country continues to be split over impeachment. This is CNN's latest polling. 50% of Americans support removal from office. 43% oppose it. A Politico Morning Consult poll showing support for impeachment is 48%, 43% opposed. You've been clear you support impeachment, but not removal?
So I am 100% in support. I was one of the early, in 2017, members of Congress to sign on for impeachment. We have had a very thorough investigation, and the crimes of impeachment has been documented, and I'm moving forward with that. My major concern, Chris, is with the Republican Senate members. Those who have, after we complete our finding in the judiciary, and hopefully we'll take a vote, and I will be voting for impeachment, I am concerned that there will be this underbelly that's happening to exonerate the president. And the thing that just sends chills up my spine is that history will reflect that we had official action of Congress that just put their head in the sand and ignored all these egregious actions of this president. And my question was to the Republican Senate is that at minimum, because many of them will tell me off the camera and in the corner, they'll whisper, yes, it wasn't right, but it's not impeachable. I said, at minimum, you have to say you must censure this president. So no president coming into office will think and assume that this type of behavior is acceptable. It is a shock to our democracy. It is a slap in the face to all of us here, where we bring in a foreign entity to interfere in our election.
I know you know what folks on the right are saying right now. They say you flipped. I'm going to show you, there are headlines. One says, yes. Swing state Dem flips on impeachment. House Democrat backs down from impeachment. There we see them in the Daily Caller and Newsmax. White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway said, you're just the start of the flips. And she called you out by name. I'm going to play it.
I don't know what will be in the articles of impeachment, but we do know we've seen nothing through these hearings that would bring us any closer to high crimes and misdemeanors that justifies impeaching and removing a democratically elected president from office. And I was very struck by everything Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence said yesterday, and good for her courage. She's in a very heavily Democratic district. I would assume she's a loyal Democratic member, but she made very clear that we're so close to the next election that gives her pause as well.
She went on to say that increasingly that is what is happening and will continue to happen. I predict as Democrats go home for the Thanksgiving holiday and constituents logically ask them, what have you done lately? The answer is, I'm busy impeaching the president. What would you say to Kellyanne Conway and to the newspapers, to the TV folks, the radio folks on the right who say that you are the face of people flipping on impeachment?
The fact is, I have not flipped. The fact is that our country is so divided. And for me, impeachment is the process that we and I must take in my sworn oath to this country. I am so troubled by this deliberate attempt to minimize the actions of this president. And the record should not reflect in history that this president was exonerated when all of the facts are pointing to this. And so,
does it make you mad that they're presenting it that way?
It's very disappointing because it's a slap to where I stand. I have not flipped, but I was trying to bring some reason to the Senate Republicans. At minimum, you must say that this president has some accountability for his actions. And I put out into the public, you have to consider at minimum a censure of his action. And so they flipped it and said something that I didn't say. And for the record, I'm a 100% convinced by the facts, the investigations, the hearings, and all that's been presented in this very thorough investigation that President Trump should be impeached.
Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence of Michigan, appreciate you coming on and setting the record.